Mr. Haokip, did the violence affect the role of Meira Paibis? Did it mutate? Did it behave differently from the pre-violence days, whereby they were the social reformers, whereby they were the custodian of the good values? From that, they became the frontline soldiers.
Definitely, Kartikeya, historically, the Meira Paibis played a good role in defending human rights, the rights of people in whatever situation it was, whether it may be from the colonial rule or it may be from the Indian Army and other, other kind of forces which were functioning under AFSPA. The kind of impunity the armed forces had earlier, they were fighting, but it seems like during this conflict, they have this impunity itself. They are exercising impunity against the army, impunity against many other agencies of the state. So their role has changed from agent of peace to a kind of vigilante group during this conflict. There may be a kind of pressure within the community, but definitely the role of Meira Paibis has changed from being agents of peace to a vigilante group, and they were, still involved in many of the kind of activities they were involved during this time. For instance, the Spear Corps displayed videos how they were involved in, delivering, or the insurgent groups who were caught, by the army who were fighting against the other community during the peak of the conflict. So these are the roles they played. And earlier in the conflict also, they were seen letting off men, rape certain Kuki women who were later on confirmed to be raped and killed. So these are the kind of role change that they have been, we have been observing. And it's very sad that the historical role as a peacemaker, defender of rights, and the kind of role they have played through historical times. During this conflict, it's reversed. They have become, a kind of vigilante groups with full of power, with the power of impunity exercised by the army earlier. So definitely their role has changed enormously during these times, and the world see them, as a different entity, not women for peace, but as a kind of a group that perpetuate violence in Manipur now.
But Mr. Chakma, why did this mutation take place, in your opinion?
Actually, what I had said, people might describe this organization in many ways, which is true, not distortion of facts. But please remember, down the heart, it's an organization which represents the community. And when the community got involved, they become as communal as anybody else. And there are no dots of organizations which actually espouse rights, and rights they espouse not from the perspective of impartiality and objectivity, the way one would expect from a non-governmental organization. The rights are espoused from the perspective of the community. So if it was against the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, it was excellent because Armed Forces Special Powers Act actually affected everybody. So everybody wanted to see this as something which is neutral, which benefits every community. But from the Meira, if you look at narrowly, they were actually only representing the community interest, which is of the Meite. So we have to remember that this particular organization represents the community interest. So it's not only of the Meira Paibis, it's true possibly of many women organizations who represent the community. And of course, when you live in an atmosphere where there is communal tension and all other groups have become communalized, and you have situation which provokes directly or indirectly, then this kind of groups which we are earlier seen as being champions of human rights start violating human rights. And I would say that whether they belong to Merapabis or not, but I had come across videos in from Manipur where whether the Meitei women groups in some videos are encouraging violence against the the minority cookie communities, and it is possible that similar videos also exist from the cookie communities. But I had seen videos where young boys are being asked to resort to violence, including sexual violence. So I do not see, as the Meira Paibis as a neutral human rights organization, non-governmental organization which will ensure its impartiality and objectivity. That is not the purpose. Whatever it has done with respect to the interests of the community. So sometimes in history, when the opponents were the state and the state structure, all those who are affected by the policies of the state, they thought it's part of us.
It's